श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारो अन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यतायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। We are seeing Māṇḍūkya kārikā, a relevant treatise in order to understand the Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad, written by a traditional teacher called Gaudapada Acharya. And he has written this kārikā and divided into 4 sections. And the first section is called Agama Prakarana. Discussions and inquiries are based upon the Vedic sentences. That is why it's called Agama Prakarana. Whether the Advaita philosophy is true or whether this Advaita philosophy, the non-duality, can accept or not, is it real? Is this Māṇḍūkya Upanishad is saying something a fact? All these things are analyzed, inquired by the support of Shruti statements or Vedic sentences. That is why it's called the name Agama Prakaranam. The very word Agama indicates Vedas, and the last portion of Vedas are called Veda Antaha, the last concluding portion of Vedas. And that becomes the goal of a human being. That is being analyzed through each and every Upanishads. And that is being explained for the sake of the humanity to get to reach the human goal. Thus, we have Māṇḍūkya kārikā, and we are in the almost last verse of Māṇḍūkya kārikā's first section. And this section is called Agama Prakaranam. And in last class, we saw the one before the last verse. That is the 28th verse of the Māṇḍūkya kārikā. We saw elaborately, and we will see in a shorter way to enter into the new verse, which is the last one of this section. The last class we discussed this verse, Pranavam hi Ishwaram Vidyad Sarvasya Hridaye Sthitam Sarvavyapina Omkaram Matva Dhiro na Shochati. Any Lord of your religion can be considered as the creator, regardless of the form, regardless of the gender. You may deeply get connected with that form. That form will get the name, according to Upanishad, Pranavam. Pranavam means the syllable Om. You can call that creator Om. Om signifies your Ishtadevada, the desired deity. So Pranavam means the desired deity who is the creator, who is the supporter, who bless you every day. So Pranavam hi Ishwaram Vidyat. Ishwaraha, one who protects the entire creation. Ishwaraha. Ish, Palane, protect. Varach Pratyam. So Ishwaraha means the protector of the entire creation, taking care of each and every individual things according to their own deeds. So, Sarvasya Hridaye Sthitam. Where does this creator resides in each and every individual living being? In the heart of each and every living. This is an irony, contradictive statement. I already mentioned you in the last class. When the Lord is discussed as an all-pervading entity, how can you give a location as you give for a limited being? All-pervading entity cannot be located in a particular place because it pervades everywhere. Why this verse say, Hridaye Sthitam, it resides in some heart of each and every living being. Heart means center of each and every living. Hridaye Sthitam. Remember, as a beginner, I need to meditate daily. I need to get connected with my mind because mind is familiar to get connected with the forms. So I need a form. And I am considering the deity which I believe according to my religion is the creator. So that it has a form. And that form can be only thought, only pervade in a particular area in my mind or in my heart. So, for the sake of mediocre people who are bit dull-wit, they are going to be smart, but as a beginner, they need a form as a creator. For them, that form is being thought of in their heart. That's all. There is no contradiction with the verse and the reality. The verse says that there is a location for the creator. And in fact, all-pervading entity doesn't need a location to point out. For the sake of meditation of the beginners, dull-wit or mediocre people, the verse took an initiative to locate the deity in a particular place in an individual body. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe Arjuna tishtadi. This is also told by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita doctrine given by the Lord Krishna to Arjuna. The Lord resides in the heart of everybody. So all this location is pointed out for the sake of meditation for the beginners. But when a person gets matured and who can see the vision properly, Each and every cell is nothing but Ishvara, and the cells are imposed form on the reality. Thus, a person will understand everything is nothing but Ishvara. Everything is nothing but the Lord. Each and every cell, even the banana peel is Ishvara, Lord. The stars are Lord. Everything is nothing but Lord. When a mature person realizes he don't need a location for the Lord. Up to that, there need a location. That is being told here. Hridaye sthitam and sarvavyapinam. See the next verse. Sarvavyapinam. Residing in the heart, and he is all pervading. So there is no irony. When a person gets matured due to the listening of the studies from the traditional teacher, that person will understand this deity as an all-pervading entity. Sarvavyapinam, Omkaram. Pranavam is called Omkaraha. Omkara means three letters. Akaram, the word letter A, the letter U, the letter M. Then the Sarvavyapi, the all-pervading entity, is pointed out through Omkaram. Uttering the Omkara, you will be thinking, you will be remembering the all-pervading Lord. Matva, after knowing that, Dhiro na shochati, a discriminative one, will not grieve. Why? Any discriminative person will be capable of realizing the fact that everything is nothing but one single entity called the self, the Brahman, the non-dual self. And it will not die, it will not get into birth. Birth and death is a role in the drama. Just like the hero dies in the movie. In real, there is no death for the heroine in the movie, but it's a part of role. So that similarly, there is no death and birth in real for the self. It's a role taken by the creation, in the creation. So, Dhiraha, he will not be, he will not get imbalance due to the different circumstances of his real life. When there is no insecurity regarding the death or any other things, a person will be totally firm in this world. He will not be shaken by any issues. No bondages can affect them. Nobody can shake them. Dhiro matva na shochati. This is the one of the practical result we need, correct? We are all interested not to have any tear due to somebody's separation or somebody's cursing. I am not interested to produce tears from my eyes. So I don't want to be fear. I don't want to fear of anything in the world. That insecurity is being taken away. How this non-dual self is the one and only entity pervading everywhere, and all other things happening in the creation are just superimposed actions. That is not real at all. So birth of mine is unreal. Death of my somebody's family member is unreal. Loss is unreal. Failure is unreal. Winning the match or winning the exam is unreal. Why should I be elevated or myself to go down when the things occur? There is no room for grief. What a beautiful way. Tiru Matwana Shojari. Let the people go from your life. Why should you be sore? If they know your value, let they come. If they don't know the value, let they go. Let they go. No problem. You don't go like a dog behind them. Please accept me. Please accept me. Please, I want your presence. Why should you go? A discriminative one will be more stable and firm. I am the self. I am the origination of happiness. I should not have the body consciousness in small, small things. Somebody don't need you in this creation. It's okay. There is no fear. There is no shaking away. There is nothing to worry about oneself. Dhiru Nashojati. Matva, having known this reality about oneself, nobody can be together from the standpoint of body. One day we need to separate, whether it is husband or wife. After the death of one, they are separate. So any connection is unreal. Any connection coming together is for only for a limited time. Why should you worry about the things get changed? If they want to go, let they go. If something didn't happen, like what happened to the others' life, it's okay, no problem. We are special people. That's why we are under Lord. We are studying something relevant in our life. Don't compare yourself with ordinary people. Now you are not ordinary. Though the listeners who are listening Vedanta are not ordinary. You may have some sick, you may have some ill, you may have some diseases, you may have some frustrated conditions in the life, but you are not ordinary now because you can understand who you are. Atma Jnanam Asti. There is a self-knowledge for you people. When there is self-knowledge, you should not compare with an ordinary person who may be rich, who may be a movie star, who may be a lot of properties. Comparing with them with the empirical things is a foolish idea. Because from the standpoint of reality, you compare like this. I am that rich guy from the content if I look at him. The content is same in me and him. He may not, he will not know, but I know because I am studying Upanishad. That is why Dhiro Mattvana Shojati. After knowing the reality, a discriminative person should be very much secure with oneself. You may not enjoy the world as others enjoy. Nothing wrong on that because you are the origin of happiness. You came to know. Others enjoy because through secondary things, they want some happiness from the secondary things. You are not interested to collect secondary things from the external world in order to become happy because you are the embodiment of happiness. Why should I go behind the silly things to become happy? You are the embodiment of happiness. Why should I become happy by getting somebody in my life? If the prarabdha is there, somebody comes and goes, no problem. But don't be adamant that they should be with me. They should not go away from me. In course of time, everybody gets separated. So one should be more discriminative and one should be more firm in the empirical world after getting the knowledge. And we have role models, our sages who stayed alone at any cost of issues. They are always fresh and they know the reality. If we look at their face, as though nothing happened, because they will not get affected by the situations. We are the people, we get affected because we stay even now as an ordinary person. Don't get affected by the situations. Let it go. Any nervous news should not shake you. You are Param Brahman. After knowing that, Dhiru na shochati. We already saw this. See, we already saw this. Now, the last and final verse of this Agama section. Amatro anantamatrascha dvaitasya upashama shivaha omkaro vidido yena samunih na itaro janaha. Once more I will read. Amatro anantamatrascha dvaitasya upashama shivaha omkaro vidito yena samunihi na itaro janaha. So this is the final verse and the meaning is amatraha, the silence. When you chant Om and after uttering the Om, you stop for a few seconds and again you will repeat the Om. May you see, I will do that. Om. I uttered the first Omkara and there was a silence following that Omkara. After that, a silence is preceded by again Omkara and the Omkara is followed by the silence. This silence is pure consciousness. Between two utterings of Om, there is a silence. This is the real entity or the real self. That is being pointed out by Amatra. Free from letters. If you identify something which letters or sound or by form, it will become limited because you are measuring with your senses. So, if you try to make others understand by chanting Omkara, this is the Brahman, then Brahman will get limited because you understand Brahman itself is a limited condition of the Brahman. Anything which is small or limited can only understand by the Brahman. So, Brahman is not something like an object to understand. If the object can understand or grasp by you, it is limited. Brahman is not something which is other than anything in the world. It is not something which is a non-existence. Brahman exists. That's why all kinds of names and forms are being superimposed. Gold exists and the ultimate nature of the gold is formless. So that the gold can be altered into a ring, altered into a nose ring, altered into an ear ornament, altered into a garland, into a crown. Gold can be modified into different forms because gold is formless. Formless entity can only superimposed by different names and forms But this is formless. This cannot be identified by any senses, and it has no letters. Amatraha, Turiyaha, the fourth one which was discussed by the Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. And that Amatraha, Turiyaha, Anantamatrascha. In the Bhashya, Adi Shankara says that we cannot compare the Brahman with anything in the world which is precious or which is highly, we cannot measure the worth or cannot compare with anything in the world. Very interesting way, very interesting way. Anantamatrascha, it is endless, it is formless, it is the origin of happiness. It will be everywhere. That's being the self of the listener, of the teacher, of the entire world. That is Ananta Matrascha, cannot be measured by any other thing in the world. We cannot resemble with somebody, something, because it is unique. A unique entity cannot be resembled or cannot have any kind of example in order to show that. This is unique. That is why it has some pramana. Upanishad can only reveal what is self. No other books in the world can reveal what is self or what is Omkara. There is no evidences for anybody because evidences are only for the thing which appeared in a form. Only Upanishad can reveal what is Omkara, what is Brahman. Anantamatrascha cannot be measured, cannot be understood by any one of the things. That is being told here, Anantamatrascha. Once you come to know that self is everything, self is the only solution to get rid of from the grief, sorrow, pain, and also from this dramatic world. One should come to know that. Really speaking, people are very opposite what I told here. They are interested to enjoy the worldly things in terms of food, in terms of clothes, in terms of amusement, in terms of connections. There is no dvaitasya upashamaha for an ordinary person. The cessation of the duality is not there for an ordinary person who never studied the reality. Why? His happiness is due to the dvaitam. When he eat a delicious food, he will be happy. When he met a person who is very much connected, very much helpful to him, he will be happy. When a person get into a particular job which he is fond of, then he will be happy. So ordinary people are basically search in search of happiness through the secondary things. These secondary things are called Dvaita Vishaya. Anything which gives you happiness is secondary. It may be a sweet, it may be a person, it may be your pet, it may be stars and sky, it may be a cow, it may be anything. This is called Dvaitam. You yield happiness from a secondary thing. Most of the people, not most of the people, everybody, except the person who is learned, Viveki, a discriminative one, will not be happy with the external things, because external things can only reward happiness which are limited. External things are subject to destruction. The person who enjoy happiness is also subject to destruction. What is the point of going to limited happiness in this birth? When we come to know the unlimited happiness is oneself. Knowing oneself is the result of unlimited happiness. That is called Dvaitasya Upashamaha. That is the end of duality. See, you need not to wipe out the entire person or world in order to eliminate the duality. Understanding itself will eliminate the duality. Sun rises in the east. We all studied in the kindergarten classes. But in real, there is no rising of sun. The earth rotation makes the sun as though it is rising in the east and setting in the west. After knowing that, still I enjoy the sunset. But I know the reality now. Rising of the sun never existed at any point of time. Still I enjoy the rising of the sun. Similarly, Dvaitasya Upashamaha means just as the rising of the sun never existed at any point of time, there is no real body in this world, but we see I am a body. He is a body, she is a body, it is a body, and the body get connected. That's all. But after knowing the reality behind the duality of a person, when a person get enlightened by the self-knowledge, that person will not have any kind of misconclusion regarding oneself. I am not a particular person who is different from another person who is different from the world. I am the only consciousness which is also in the form of external world, which is also in the form of people. I am the only form of consciousness. Jnate Dvaitam. After knowing that duality never existed at any point of time, it's only an imagination that there is something other than me. Dvaitasya Upashamaha. After the blessings of the traditional knowledge, traditional teacher by the traditional scriptures, a person will become Shivaha, an auspicious entity by himself. And this Brahman is also Shiva. And Omkaraha Viditaha Yena. By whom this Omkara is understood in this manner? Yena, in this manner. What is been taught here from the first verse onwards till the 27th verse, a complicated inquiry. One should know the word properly with the help of traditional teacher. If you go alone without listening any recording on Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad, it seems to be very contradictory. That is why Yena Viditaha, by whom the Omkara is understood clearly. Saha, indeed that person is Mahamunihi, a person who has certain disciplines in chanting Omkara daily 3 times. It may be 100 times, 1008 times, no problem. We should not do as though you don't want to do. Omkara chanting should be very proper, and after one by one, you get elevated by oneself. Your philosophical sustenance will be more fitted happily. Each and every chanting of Omkar. Thus, after knowing that duality never existed at any point of time, then he is called Munihi. Mentally thinking about the duality which appears as though true is not real at all. It is just like the shadow. Shadow can give you some fear. Shadow seems to be very big than you. Shadow is in a very dark color. All these things made me to think, what is this? What is this? From where this shadow came? Similarly, akaro vititas, akaro vititau yena. One by whom the omkara or the omkaro vitito yena. By whom the omkara is understood properly. It's not an easy thing. Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad is the only Upanishad which talks about Omkara clearly. So, Viditam, by whom it is known. Knowing is not very easy thing. You came to know now. Knowing anything in the world regarding the Indian philosophy or Adhyatmika Jnanam, one needs to investment a lot of time after listening what he got in the mind or the textbook. One needs to go through that. Then only a person get complete balance in spite of any forest fire situations in one's life. A sick is an emergency situation. A disease is an emergency situation. My own certain situations are not very easy. In spite of all these things, one will be completely with fresh mind, fresh face. Akaro vidito yena saha munihi. Who is him? Munihi. Muni means one who repeatedly chant Omkara is called Munihi. In the Advaita philosophy, in the Vedanta Shastra, the word Munihi means one to think. From that only Munihi comes. What is meant by thinking? He thinks only about the Atman, who is the protector, who is the survivor, who is everything in the world. Without his knowledge, nothing will happen. Whether it is an earthquake, whether it is skid of a bike, whether it is a car tragedy or chain mishap, nothing. Without his knowledge, nothing will happen. So that he will take care of my health also, and also myself is being him. I need to respect in order to get the truth in my life. I was just running behind my fake identity. That is being told here. Saha munihi na itaraha janaha. He is not an ordinary comparative person. He is muni. Mananatvat. Mananat munihi. Thinking repeatedly on one same thing will make the person to be muni. And this muni, the person who thinks the world The people, the deity, everything is centered on me, and that centering position is seen in the screen. He is called Munihi. See the vastness of the Muni. The person can accommodate anything in the world once you get matured. It's not that just to make money, you cannot do anything. You should have certain responsibilities for the people and the society. The Munihi will only take away the moksha person. So I want to say that Muni is a person who always repeat the Omkara in his day-to-day life. And he will be respecting the whole society, whether it is going in the wrong direction or in the right direction. He will be only a witness. If somebody comes to ask him, he will guide the direction. Muni is not a savior. He won't conclude or claim himself that I came here to save your life. That is another foolish way to deal with the people. You cannot save anybody. They save themselves. You only show an idea, a mark. In this way, if you do, you will get reduced these things. Nobody can be saved by anybody. Muni is a person who have the real entity in his mind. Muni is a person who will be always thinking the world, people and me, everything is Brahman, who is free from anxiety, who is free from hunger, who is free from thirst, who is free from the world, who is free from all kinds of bondages with grandmother, grandfather, father, mother, children, husband. After knowing I am not this body, the bondages are shackled. You just thrown away. You don't disrespect any bondages, but you know the silly moments of the bondage. The bondage is due to the consideration of duality. Once the duality is disappeared, I am not connected with anything from the empirical standpoint, but from the original standpoint, I am the entire world creation. And this person, Vididaha Saha Munihi Na Itaraha Jana, is never, he will not become an ordinary person who is ignorant about the reality. Idi Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣadi. I will read the Bhashya, it will be nice. Wherever I can read Bhashya in a small 3 words sentences, I will read the Bhashya and I will come. Bhashya means the explanation of the same verse. Amatraha Turiyaha Omkaraha. The word Amatra represents the name Turiyaha. The fourth one which discussed, which is the center, which is the locus of other 3 states, the base of other 3 states. Other three states are temporary, the base is permanent. Base never changes, but all other situations will change in course of time. This is the base of entire creation, entire 3 states. Amatraha, Turiyaha, Omkaraha, and Miyade Anaya idi Matra, by which we measure is called Matra, Parichitihi, limitation. When you measure certain things, it is 7 inch, it is 8 inch, it is 9 inch, it is 16 inch. That's all. It is limited. It is not 17 inches, it is not 15 inches, it is not 2 inches. It is only limited to 16 inches. Matra parichittihi, limitation. Saha Ananta yasya saha ananta matraha. That which is not capable of measuring with any other things in the world. You can measure a snake, you can measure a rock, you can measure the feeling of the person, you can safely conclude about the person's decisions, anything. But when we come to the ultimate reality, the Brahman, the Ananta Matraha, is not at all capable of measuring or comparing with any of the empirical living beings. That is called Ananta Matra. Then Shankara says, Na etavatvam asya parichedum shakyate ityarthaha. Nothing can come and help to measure. It is measureless, it is limitless, it is infinite, Brahman. When there is a name and form, you can compare, you can say infinite. Any body will come to being and go to the death. This is called finite, limited. Similarly, Brahman is not finite, it is infinite. Infinite Brahman is not possible to measure. How many days we will take to reach Brahman? Any kind of information will not help you regarding the measure, because Brahman is amatraha, cannot be measured by the external things or himself. Amatraha parichedum na edavatvam asya parichedum shakyade ityartha. Sarvadvaita upashamadeva shivaha. When a person is involved in different things in the external world, he is not Shiva. He cannot be Mangalakari. He cannot be auspicious in his life or in the personal life or in the household life, because that person is seeing all kinds of illusions. That is why it is told here, Omkare yatha vyakhyatam viditaha sarva dvaita upashamadeva Shiva. After the resolution of all secondary things by knowledge, not externally, you cannot come to a destruction of a secondary thing unless you kill. There is no need of killing, vanishing. There is no need of cursing. There is no need of anybody to depart from the place in order to become non-duality. Non-duality is ultimate, and the duality is a explanation or an expression on the non-duality. That is being told here. And also, Omkaraha yata vyakhyataha. How the Omkara is explained in this manner, Vitite yena saha paramarthatvad asya paramuni. One who understood properly the Vedic sentences, and this person is being invited among the rishis, among the sages, and he stays there. It's a embellishment. an extra bonus. Once you come to know the reality, you will be respected and honored by the scholars. When you don't have nothing to do, you will only get Facebook likes. They are not honoring you. They are bluffing you. Understand? When you are really a person who work on a thing daily and you spend time, that work itself will make you to honor. So here it is told here. Omkaraha yatha vyakhyatam vididaha yena saha paramartasvat paramartatvasya mananat muni. One who repeats the Omkara for a length of time, always in his lips Omkara only, he is called Munihi. This person is considered as the ultimate reality by himself. And na itaraha jana, not other people. One who studied the Shastram properly can only understand this is the reality of myself. When a person don't study anything regarding the traditional knowledge, they will not get connected with this knowledge. That has been told here. Na itaraha jana, not any other people. So right now, Bhashya. Amatraha turiyaha omkaraha miyate. Anaya iti matra. Amatra means turiyaha, the fourth. Omkaraha, the fourth one, which is also uttered in the name of Omkaraha. And what is meant by measure? Miyate, by which thing, by which gadget you measure. This is called matra. And parichiti, limitation will come. Saha anantaha yasya saha ananta matra. That which is not subject to measure because it is infinite, it is called amatraha. Without any duration of time, it is spread everywhere. There is no other place in the world which is spread here. There is no other word also, there is no other thing also to get measured the Brahman. Brahman is infinite, so too the myself, the listener or the teacher is also infinite. Why should I be fear of? Remember, when everything is the one and only entity, there is no knife, there is no bacteria, there is no even diseases. Everything being Ishvara, I accept myself, everything, self-accommodation. That person should not grieve or will not grieve in small things. That is why amatraha omkaraha yada vyakhyatam vititaha munina vititaha yena saha paramartha tattvasya mahamuni. How the omkara is being explained here, in the same manner, if a person understood properly, then the person will become the biggest great sage. The Mahamuni, na itaraha janaha, not anyone other than him. Because this person knows what is told in the Shastram, in Bhagavad Gita, in Upanishads, in Brahma Sutram. No other person cannot entertain what is told in this section. One who is told here as Atman is the integral part of the person Mahamuni. So that is being told here, Mahamunihi na idaraha janaha. Not any ordinary person who don't know the reality. That is being told. So, once more I will give the meaning and you will conclude. Amatro anantamatrascha, that which is free from letters, and anantamatrascha. Anantamatraha means that which is not possible to measure, which is infinite. And also which is the source of non-duality and which is the culmination of duality or the external world. After knowing, there will be no external world in front of you. The perception will continue of the external world. The existing things are not at all there. Dvaitasya upashamaha shiva, omkaraha vititaha yena. By whom this letter Om is understood properly, Omkara is nothing but the all-pervading Lord. One who understood properly by the help of the sentences of Shuddhi, the Upanishadic sentences, Yena, by whom it is understood, Saha Munihi na idaraha jana. Then he is the sage, real sage, na idaraha jana. Idi Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣadi, like this in the Māṇḍūkya Upanishad, Gaudapadiya kārikāyam, and in the Gaudapada kārikā, Prathamam Agamam Prakaranam. The Agama Prakaranam is safely concluded. Agama Prakaranam means a section where the verses are supported or made from the Upanishadic sentences. And the analysis about the Brahman, whether it is true or not, whether it is non-dual or dual, everything will be analyzed with the help of Vedic sentences. That is why it is called Agama Prakaranam. So, now we will enter into the second section.
Swamiji, can I ask a question?
Eh?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Swamiji, it is said only sannyasis can chant Om as you said, 100 times, 3 times a day, like that. Ordinary householders should not chant Om as a mantra. Is it correct, or is it there? Guidance is there?
I will answer you. Relevant question. There is a belief in India that Swamis and sadhus and sannyasis can only chant Om as the Moola mantra. All others should chant Omkara with a name, like Om Namah Shivaya. If you are a householder, you have to chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. You cannot chant only Omkara. There is a belief. Now I will come to the reply. Can householders chant only Omkara if it will attract some troubles? This is the question. Omkara is an auspicious syllable which generates dispassion towards the worldly things. Again, I will repeat. Omkara will generate dispassion, indifferentiation towards the world. When there is a dispassion, it's not very easy to go through the household life. Where there is vairagya, you don't entertain the external objects. You are an introvert. You are now looking yourself. You are not interested in external things. You see everything as Lord. The Omkara will generate a personality who look at the world, everything is Ishvara. But in the household life, we need a little bit of bondages. We need a little bit of attachment. We need a little bit of enjoyment towards the external things. Everything will get calmed down by chanting the Omkara. Suppose a person having wife and children, if he give up the wife and children, it will become a big trouble. Omkara will easily generate the dispassion. That is why the wise used to say, Omkara should be chanted by the guidance of the traditional teacher only by brahmacharis and sannyasis. But there are exceptions. Right from the childhood, a person is not interested in household life. Even though he is a grihastha, but not get married, he can chant. He is determined to take sannyasa life, even though he is an householder. You don't want to get married or you don't want an household life. That person can chant Omkara. Few people who are interested in worldly things and everything, if they start to chant Omkara, there will be some dispassion towards the external world. Some body transformation will also occur, which is not a subject to discuss. This is for sure. A person will get more vairagya by chanting Omkara. It will be helpful to get rid of from the samsara, so that I prefer you people can chant Omkara because you are students of Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. Every attachment will slowly cool down. It will get rid of from you. You need not to get rid of from them. In a polite way, everything will go back from you, and you will be happy when they depart from your life. That level the mind will be when you chant Omkara. So it is sure that the person who doesn't know anything should not chant Omkara directly. If a person comes to know the value of Omkara and the result of the Omkara chanting, one should chant Omkara, whether it is a householder or any other things. Slowly the bondages, the worries, the situations, everything will depart from its life. They will not ruin him personally. That is what we need. That is why Omkara is essential to chant by the students or by the listeners of Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. More doubts if we have, you can write down in the group. I will give you the explanation in the next class. We'll conclude here. We will get into the second chapter in the next class. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shadini Deshoyam Choparahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirpayaha Sarve Bhavantu Suginaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamitam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.